Hey guys, how's it going? I am very tired right now. I spent the whole of last night watching the Hunger Games. I went to the triple bill, so I got to see the first one, the second one and the latest one, Mockingjay Part 1. And I thought I'd do a little review of that one, just because it's newly released. I will warn you now, I didn't like the first film and I'm not the biggest fan of the second film. So I'm not saying my opinion may be slightly swayed. I know people often argue that against me, but I tried watching this one with like a fresh pair of eyes, kind of no preconceived ideas, so yeah. And to be honest, I found this one the better of the three films, probably. I found it the most interesting one. I felt like this one didn't feel like it was as long as it was, especially when you're watching it from midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, that could really seem to drag. Sorry, head noises. But yeah, it didn't feel as long as what it is. Although I felt it was quite slow in some places, I felt like some parts really made up for it. And even though they're not in the Hunger Games setting, which I must admit I did miss because I really liked the whole idea of the games, and they are in District 13, there is still some action. Not as much as like the other two films, but there is still some, which I think is good that they can still incorporate it, because otherwise I wouldn't be happy. Within this film, one of my biggest criticisms for the second Hunger Games film, which I probably will one day review, is the fact that Katniss's insanity seems to be forgotten. What I mean is, in the forest you see her shoot something, it turns out to be that guy, and then that's about as much as you see as to her going insane. Although I must admit, when I watched it again last night, I did seem to see more little things hinting towards that, but the most striking thing was that. Whereas within this film you could clearly see that each of them were going insane. It was really emphasised. Not so that it was in your face, but just so like it was there, it was confronted, and you just knew. And Twitter's going off to distract me. So I really like that idea. I like the idea they didn't just forget about it again, because I really hate it when films do that. So yeah, I thought that was really good. I don't want to give too much away, but I don't know how to add it. The performances of Peter and Katniss, well done Heather, were amazing. They were really good. They've really improved. So there's that as well. Another criticism I have is I felt like, is it Finnick or something? Well, him and Annie, I could have just made those two up. I felt like their relationship wasn't as heavily emphasised, and I don't feel like Finnick was in it enough. A couple of times they try and make you feel really emotional through him, and I felt like they really needed to show him more, because he would literally turn up, try and make the audience feel emotional and leave again. And I think he's a pretty good character, but they didn't explore it as much as they could, in my opinion. Other than that, I do think the characterisation was really good. Small things throughout the film were really cleverly paced. It sounds really like I'm saying that from out of nowhere, but I did really enjoy it. For example, Katniss always plays with the little pal that be together in the second film, and there's also little things like when President Snow states that anything to do with the Mockingjay is illegal. You see his granddaughter take out her Katniss plait in her hair. So I felt little things like that have always been really intelligent throughout all three of these films, and hopefully what will be 4 of the films. And it does seem like someone on set, I don't want to just say it was the director, someone on set has got a really keen eye for detail, and I think that's really good and really well thought through. One thing I didn't think that was well thought through, sorry I'm trying to link everything, it's really difficult. One thing I really didn't like was the fact that I know of a couple later deaths, which will probably happen in the next film, and because of that, sorry I'm checking I'm still recording, because I know of these later deaths, I felt like it was really obvious who was going to die due to the amount of screen time they suddenly got. I don't want to give away too much, I don't want to end up ruining a film for anyone, but I do feel like that's a big criticism to be given, if that makes sense. You should never try and, I don't know, you should always try and be really subtle if you're going to kill off a character. That's the way I think of it. You should subtly have them on screen or subtly have them in a conversation, not suddenly go, okay, ignore them in the first film, ignore them in the second film, third film, just make them the main character or something. I really think that didn't work. And that's about it, really. That's all my opinions. I can't bother to try and make sense of my notes, I just want to go to sleep. Overall, I did think the film was really good. It was really enjoyable. I didn't think it was as long as it was. It didn't feel like it dragged at all, and something was always happening. Some of the performances were amazing, and the only really big issue that I do have with it is the fact that it has been split into two. I understand it worked for Harry Potter, but I don't like the fact that now every single film is using this. It's like, okay, you've got 3 books of the same length roughly, I think we can make 3 films. But I'll have to watch the second part before I can say that officially. So yeah, it's a really good film. If you get the chance to go see it, I strongly suggest you do. Even if you don't enjoy the other 2, because it's different. Katniss is less annoying. But I really hate the character of Katniss, but I will get into that another time. Okay, I'm gonna go sleep now, seeing as I've only had a few hours and this doesn't make much sense. Okay, see you later guys, bye.